Hey, what's up guys? This is Durian Productions. Today, let's open box a Redmibook 14 2020 with 10th generation Core i7, 8GB RAM, 512GB of solid state drive, 14-inch display. Inside the box, there is a basic charger similar to any charger for any old laptops. Also a menu and a beautiful silver laptop. On the A side, there is a standard Redmi logo, feels premium. On the left side, there are 4 ports, 2 Type-A USB, 1 HDMI, 1 power port, another side, 1 USB Type-A, and 1 3.5mm headphone jack. At the back, it's pretty standard with 2 plastic stands and a metallic window for cooler fan to go in. There are 2 speakers on both sides, stereo speakers. At the back, there are nothing. It feels pretty heavy on hand. It feels pretty solid on hand and also pretty substantial. It is not as cheap as those metallic laptops which are not really solid at hand. Unfortunately, we cannot open the laptop with a single hand. It looks very similar to MacBook Pro, old versions, 2011, 2012 versions at the first glance, and so is the keyboard and the trackpad. It is not great, but it's okay to use. There is one problem: it does not have any webcam, although there is something like a microphone on the top. Let us open some web pages. The speed of this laptop is not really ideal. It's a bit slow. As we check from the task manager, the anti-malware software is taking quite some resources from the total system. It is pretty strange. Let's now choose some videos to check the screen and speaker quality. The overall screen quality and sound quality is lower than average. The display has quite some bleeding, and so is the speaker. On spec sheet, this laptop is great with an i7 processor. Supposedly, it should be fast, but not really, actually. The battery is around 48 watt-hour in reality, which can give 8 to 9 hours battery life with minimum load on the laptop. This is something we should praise Redmi, since that the discharge rate for this laptop is pretty low, and that's why we can have a long battery life. It only supports single channel memory, and there is no SPD information which suggests that it cannot be expanded neither. The display is basically a rubbish display for this price range. The solid state drive is from Vision, a SATA 3.1. It feels acceptable, but not fast. Wi-Fi is from Intel. It's an AC9462. which is not a lot common. Let us turn on the high performance mode and get some numbers for this laptop. The solid state drive is exactly the slowest solid state drive I have ever seen. It is slower than my 5 years old SATA 3 drive 128 GB. The Cinebench R15 is acceptable. Let us run stress test on CPU long. At the beginning, the system becomes significantly slower with a frequency around 2.8 GHz. The total power package is around 20 watts with around 70 Celsius degree CPU temperature. The performance is respectable currently, with fan become quite noisy. It's approximately the airplane engine noise. After 10 minutes, the CPU frequency is now dropped to 2.6 GHz. It's pretty good. The temperature still below 70 Celsius degree, and the total power of the CPU is now lower to 70 to 80 watts. The not so good part is the fan noise. It is very loud and hardly bearable. Let the system rest for a while, and then we start stability test for both CPU and GPU. It is very obvious that the GPU frequency is now around 1 point something gigahertz, and the CPU basically dead already. Let the system run for a few minutes, and then we can see that the GPU frequency is still pretty okay, 1.1 gigahertz, pretty respectable, while the CPU dead already. This type of performance output is totally unacceptable for any machines. Thereafter, Xiaomi or Redmi should definitely correct such kind of performance output. Redmibook 14 is still decent for its price range, with some unbearable caveats, strong screen backlicking, loud fan noise, and bad performance output. It is cheap, but definitely we are looking at something more attractive in such a competitive 2020.